Hello, I'm Ms. Lumley of Finextra, and we're here at EBA Day in Amsterdam. And today I'm speaking to Inge van Dijk of ING. And we're going to talk a little bit about real-time payments, which is a major topic of conversation among the delegates and has been with all the bankers I've been talking to over the past year. Real-time payments is moving globally, it's moving out throughout Europe. But what is the impact that real-time payments, what will it have on consumers and how will it impact their business?
Okay, well, thank you for having me, Elizabeth, on such a esteemed topic, because this is a buzzword at EBA Days, instant payments. At ING's belief that instant payments will not stop at the person-to-person. I think we see a lot of initiatives around that area, and it's also our belief that it won't stop at the retail segment either. It's going to spread to all market segments, and it's going to be maybe gradual, but quicker than we think. Now, why is the reason why I'm saying that? Is mobile banking and the smartphones and all the digital devices that we've had have really triggered this evolution of instant payments. If I can make a payment and take my mobile device with me on a holiday spot and make my payment from Asia, my late payment on energy bills or whatever, and I can make an instant payment to any account within ING already today, because intra-bank it's already catered for and we're not the only bank, then it's very difficult to explain why you can't make a payment to another bank or even across borders instantly. We should be able to cater for that. It's not so much that the customer is asking for it, because if you put a survey out there, nobody's going to say, I want it instantly, and they're certainly not willing to pay for it. But it sort of comes with the digital revolution that is taking place, that is going in that direction. Now, if I can say as a consumer, look, I want to pay my bills late, then why wouldn't it be possible for a business to pay his bills late? And if a consumer can say, I want my goods when they're being delivered to be paid at that point in time and no sooner, then why wouldn't a retailer have the same prerogative towards a wholesaler? And why shouldn't a corporate be allowed to pay his taxes just in time instead of doing difficult RTGS payments, or costly I would say, or having to send it in a few days in advance? So it's sort of a logical evolution that will also take place there. And I think the faster payments experience in the UK showed it really well. They're lifting the boundary of £100,000 sterling to 200k, I heard, 500, maybe even $1 million. That already shows that it's going into the high value payments area. So it will touch on cash will become less, cards will become different, high value payments will become different, and as such it will rock the boat. We believe instant payments will reshape how payments industry is being done, and if you listen carefully to the customer experience and make sure that your proposition is tuned into easiness and speed, then there's a good opportunity for you out there. If not, you have to count your blessings. So
we've talked about the impact on customers. Now let's go back to the banks a bit. How will real-time payments be realized?
Well, hopefully it won't be realized in the long time span that SEPA took us. And while I understand where we're coming from, we just simply don't have the time anymore. So on the one hand, you see the EPB asking for suppliers to provide it with at least one pan-European scheme, and all sorts of initiatives are taking place to come up with blueprints or with position papers in order to answer that need of the EPB. But on the other hand, we also see the question coming in from the market demand. So I think it would be great if we could run it in parallel. The predominance of the transactions, 95%, is still pure domestic. So you need to answer that market need. And in the Netherlands, we may have a different market need than what we have in Germany and in Belgium. So you need to tune into that customer experience. But you also want it to be pan-European. So if you can talk with your customers across the countries, build the experience and the customer understanding in the same way and set some high-level requirements, we can then still run in parallel and build it nationally. And that would allow us to possibly open up and bring instant payments to all market segments. I think it's possible within 3 to 4 years across Europe. Depends, of course, on the appetite of the bank, and everybody has to decide for themselves. But that's what ING's commitment is all about. We think it's going to go that way, and we're prepared to do so.
So you mentioned that the industry doesn't have as much time to bring about real-time payments as it took to bring us SEPA, which is, the modern age. But what are some of the challenges to making this happen?
I think some of the key challenges to make things happen is that we are, as banks, stuck with maybe not all, but in general stuck with legacy, quite a lot of it. And that also at a certain point in time we lack the talent and the people to to invigorate and bring this new thinking about. So what is needed is, while we have a lot of trust still from consumers, and we've had a recent survey that also states that 84% of all mobile device owners still believe that bank's app is the most trusted version, so there's momentum there to be gotten. So the trust, that's what we're good at, but the quickness of invention and the speed with which other companies come to market, that's something that we can learn. So what we've done within ING is we've adopted Agile way of Scrum, similar to Spotify's been doing. Now that sounds fun, maybe, Spotify and within ING. It's actually happening not very far from here. But what it's done for us is we've not been working on delivering products with a time span of 9 months or a year and a half, but we bring small improvements to the customer every 4 to 6 weeks. And we challenge that on Twitter, in user groups, we get feedback and then we adapt a little bit more. So it's much more visible for the customer, and that is sort of taking the flavor of what the new technology and the new entrants are telling us and trying to adapt that. And whether we do that by ourselves or whether we invite them to the platform, well, we're all open for that, because we believe that if we embrace it and see how we can work together, bringing the best from the past and the best from the new world, then it will really spur and grow into something very nice. And that's, I think, the way to go forward. I'd call it co-invention.